From Dualgood, Anna Stoilova. So welcome to the stage, Anna.
Hello, everybody. I think actually I know the introduction has been that I'll talk a lot about healthcare. In fact, I think my presentation will be a lot less factual and a lot more personal and emotional about our process at Dualgood Health, how we started to create a virtual reality app for CPR training. So we are a VR startup based in East London, and we recently received investment from Bethnal Green Ventures. So we are really early in our process of developing our app. But our background is indeed being indie dev developers. So we started to create a lot of virtual experiences that are really fun and friendly and colorful. But we wanted to do something that would benefit the wider audience, really. So we wanted to create something for social good as well. So how did we start working in health VR? It all started with a hackathon that we participated in December last year. It lasted for about 24 hours, and we had no clue what to do initially. So we were thinking that we should make things more interesting by adding a different element to our idea. So I'll tell you a few pieces of information that I've learned over the past few months, and things that I would say to myself if I have to go back and go over the process again. So our prototype was done only for 24 hours, and I think that's pretty much what most people need in order to create a viable prototype. Yeah, this is little Anne. So she will be our heroine in our app that we're building. So we just purchased a mannequin and thought that it would be amazing to implement VR into it. We thought it is going to be really cool to have real-time tracking as well. So as you know, with CPR, the compressions need to be tracked in terms of speed and depth of compressions. So how did we do the tracking? We simply attached HTC Vive controllers to the hands of the people. We managed to build a prototype for 24 hours. And I think a lot of people had fun, to be honest. So it was definitely a kind of a winner proposition, perhaps. So I think what's to learn there is that you don't need a lot of time to prototype, really. You can do it as quickly as you can, of course, if you have a developer on the team, and I'm not one. But just go out there and do it would be my advice, really, because time is ticking, the virtual reality landscape is growing by the minute. So I think participating in hackathons or short events like this could be extremely helpful. What I learned next, be brave. Now, we all think that applying for investment is a bit like this, like you're going and facing a lion, but why don't you tame the lion and turn it into a cat? So that's why we applied for Bethnal Green Ventures, and basically at this stage our idea was just prototype, really. So we applied with the 24-hour product that we did, and we were selected to be part of 8 startups, which is really amazing. What I learned next, now, I'm not actually a VR developer or modeler. I come from graphic design background, so I've worked in 2D only. So VR was a really new adventure for me. And initially it was a bit scary, to be honest. but I kind of thought that I want to give it a go. I thought that it's really exciting and maybe it's the right time to try something new. So you don't need a diploma or 2 degrees as I have to start working in VR really. That will be my advice. What we're learning as a part of the startup program is that you have to be lean. What this means is that you have to, instead of doing an app and spending 6 months doing it, you have to test your market. So a lot of people do this. They quickly test the audience about their product, ask a few questions, and then just go and spend the next 6 months building an app. So the process is quite linear. In fact, it should be looking more like this. The process should involve a lot of user testing first, market research, and coding in the meantime. And then feeding back from that user research, it needs to feed back to the coding bit. I think this is what we're going to do next, really. So we are talking to CPR training providers, organizations, and institutions, and seeing how they can help us build the product, rather than just go and create the app and just be kind of not agile in the process, which is really important. Lastly, but not leastly, I learned that networking is quite important. VR field is still quite new, so I managed to do a lot of friends and connections in the area, and people that can offer me support to me have been really helpful. So that's really important as well. So my advice is go and make contacts and friends while you can, not only with mannequins, but real friends. So yeah, this will be my short but sweet presentation regarding developing a startup. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shout or contact me later. I'll be around. Thanks.
Brilliant. Does anyone have a question now? I know we are still quite behind, and that's probably my fault, but as you sped through it so expertly. Oh, yes, fantastic.
Now you've developed the VAT app, is there any particular health app you'd like to develop? Any other particular health condition you want to focus on for the future?
Well, at the moment I haven't thought deeply about this, but I think the idea is to develop this app as much as possible. So starting agile from CPR training, then that will expand into full first aid training, and we want to touch different sectors. So it's not going to be just healthcare or first aid at work. It's also, the solution can also be implemented in the army, for example. So I think for now, I'm personally interested in actually treating conditions with VR, such as fear of heights, or basically any app that could be gamified, because this is really important aspect that we didn't talk about. I didn't talk about that. Gamification is an important thing. And I think that's what a lot of Metigo apps are lacking at the moment. And I think that's what we at Dualgood can bring to the market. More interesting interactions, incentives, and so on. So I think something like treating phobias will be a really good application of game design skills.
Excellent. Well, we better call that and move things on. So just say thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you.